My name is Evans. This happened a few years ago, when I joined a hiking trip to Mount Sumbing, in central Java, Indonesia. It was supposed to be a simple weekend climb. There were 4 of us, all college friends, trying to escape the noise of the city. We planned everything carefully: ate permits, gear, and food. Nothing about that trip seemed unusual. We arrived at the base in the late afternoon. The air smelled like pine and damp soil. The sun cast long golden rays across the slopes. Some locals smiled and greeted us, but a few looked at us in a strange, cautious way. One older man even asked, "How many are in your group?" I said, 4. He paused, nodded slowly, and said, "Be careful on the mountain." At that time, I thought he was just being polite. The first few hours of our hike were peaceful. The trail wound through bamboo and small streams. Birds were chirping, and the sound of our footsteps mixed with the wind. By dusk, we reached a resting spot called Pos 2. That was when the first strange thing happened. While unpacking our gear, I noticed my friend Ari was unusually quiet. He kept staring toward the trees, as if he saw something moving there. When I asked what was wrong, he said, "I thought I saw another group coming up." We looked, but there was no one, only fog beginning to creep between the trees. That night, we set up our tents and cooked noodles. The air grew colder, and the forest became silent. Then we heard footsteps outside, circling our tent. At first, we thought it was another hiker. But the steps never faded. They moved slowly, right around us. Ari whispered, "Maybe it's an animal." But the footsteps stopped, right behind him. He turned with his flashlight. There was nothing. Only mist and darkness. The silence that followed felt heavy. We decided to ignore it and tried to sleep. Sometime after midnight, I woke up. Someone was unzipping the tent from the outside. I sat up fast, my heart pounding. The zipper moved halfway, then stopped. I said, "Who's there?" No answer. When my friend turned on his phone light, the zipper moved back down, closing itself. The next morning, we laughed about it. We blamed the wind. But Ari looked pale. He said he dreamed of a man outside the tent, wearing a hiker's jacket, his face hidden in shadow. The man said he was cold. We packed and continued to Pos 3, where the trail gets steep. The fog followed us. Every time we stopped, I felt like someone else was there, just out of sight. Then we met another group descending. One of them asked, "Are you the guys who registered 5 people yesterday?" I said, "No, just 4. He frowned and said, "That's strange. The logbook shows 5 names." We thought it was a mistake. But after that, the air felt heavier. That night, Ari couldn't sleep. He kept muttering, "Don't leave him behind." Then, from outside the tent, we heard a voice. Soft, but clear. "Wait for me." We froze. No one moved. The voice came again, a little louder. "Wait for me." None of us slept after that. When the sun finally rose, we packed in silence. Ari said someone had been walking beside him all night. When we reached the summit, the clouds opened. The view was beautiful. For a moment, everything felt normal again. We laughed, took photos, and tried to forget the night before. Then a park officer came to check our IDs. He flipped through them and looked confused. "There are 4 of you," he said, "but 5 IDs on this list." We told him it must be a mistake. He shook his head and showed us the page. 5 names and the 5th one was Ari's full name, marked with a note, "Deceased, 2018. I felt the world go silent. Ari was standing right beside me. He looked shocked, saying it wasn't funny. The officer looked pale. He said that name had been reported last year, a hiker who never came back from Mount Sumbing. The wind grew cold. Ari took a step back, shaking his head. Then he turned and walked toward the fog. We ran after him, calling his name. But when we reached the spot, he was gone. There were footprints leading a few meters down the trail, and then they stopped. The rangers searched the area, but they found nothing. We were guided back to the base camp before dark. At the registration post, they checked the file again. 5 names. Ari's was still there. Beside it, a small red mark. To this day, I don't know what really happened on that mountain. Some people say mountains keep the spirits of those who never return. Others say exhaustion and altitude can make you see things. But whenever I look at our photos from that trip, I always notice something strange. Behind us, in the fog, there's a faint figure standing a few feet away, wearing a hiker's jacket, looking straight at the camera. And every time I see it, it feels like he's still waiting for us to finish the climb.